Thanks, Amy.
Oh,
I need to fight it.
Streaming is Sarah and the video. Yeah.
Kia ora tātou. Nōnei ngā reo ngā kāna miha. Mai, hoki mai, ki tēnei hui o tātou. Nē te kota nā ki te ngā koutou i tēnei pō, o reira mai, ki te mai hara mai. Atu ake ka mihi mātua ki a rātou ko whitirangitia, ko rātou ko haere ki te whiti. Tātou ki a rātou, tātou ki a tātou. O reira, hoki mai ki a tātou te mora, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou koutou. Okay. Karakia?
Hai.
Karakia. Kia ora te marino, kia whakapapa aunau te mana. Hei huarahi, ma tātei te rangi nei. Aro atu, aro mai. Tātei e rā. Okay, just some administrative things we have to do. So just note that we are recording the meeting. Health and safety. We're pretty familiar with the health and safety rules. We just indicating that we need to, it causes us to depart and congregate out by the front of the town hall. Because of the earthquake, start having the table and hold one another in hand. Hopefully we'll be safe. Next thing, I think. Next point is apologies. Do we have any apologies at the state? If we do, I know Fran was one.
The banker.
Yes, Councillor Baker.
Memory? Memory. Oh, no, we haven't heard whether memory is an apology just yet. Simone, Fran, and JD. JD.
So, given it, can we move and accept the apologies from those? Do I have a move it, right? Can we have a move on this? Thanks, Karen. Seconder. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Those against, please say no. Motion carried. Conflicts of interest, any conflicts of interest in declaring. Acknowledgements and tributes. Any for this evening? Carl. No public participation. Kapai. Any urgent business? Urgent business, if I'm aware at this stage. Okay, so we will now move on to confirmation of minutes. So, held 14th of July. I'll take it as read. Do we have any amendments to the minutes? Any corrections? Okay, so do I have a move to confirm that the minutes of the 14th of July are confirmed as a true and correct record?
Yep.
Oh, Andrea's on the screen too.
And second up.
I wasn't at that meeting, so I can't.
Oh, I'll second it.
So all those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against, say no. Motion carried. Okay. Are there any matters arising from the previous minutes? Nothing, no matters arising. Okay. Next thing is do I need to move it, don't I, to
That's kind of-
We got to the long term.
all right. 10.1 long-term plan. Who's going to address this?
Right. Evening all. I will take the report as read. So tonight we've got just some details to you around the long-term plan. So the report just outlines a little bit around the legislative process that is involved with the long-term plan. It's a very clearly legislated process that we must follow. The report also just gives you some key timelines that we need to hit as part of the long-term plan, especially in 2027. So just make note of those. And then there are two recommendations in the report that I am here tonight to raise with you. The first is that officers are recommending to the Māori Partnership Committee and to the community boards to think about putting together a formal submission as part of our consultation process that will take part with the LTP around March 2027. It's a very formal process, but it is an opportunity for our community to have their say on the decisions around the next 10 years for South Wairarapa. Because it is a formal process, my recommendation to the Māori Partnership Committee is to think about potentially having a resolution early in 2027 to agree as a group to make a submission, what that submission might be focused on, and potentially you may also want to delegate to a committee member to pull that together or to submit it or to speak at the hearings about that submission. So that is the first recommendation. The second recommendation is part of the review process.
Submission of the submitting.
So as part of the long-term plan, we pull together a consultation document for our communities around the big decisions that we're facing over the next 10 years. And we outline some of the choices that they're looking at around changes in service level or activities, any big changes that we're looking at over the next 10 years. And a consultation document is pulled together with some supporting information. And that goes through a process with audit that's reviewed, and then it goes back to council for approval. And then we go out for a 1-month full consultation on those decisions. And so the consultation process must take place for no less than 1 month. It must include hearings and deliberations. So it's an opportunity for the community to have their say around the decisions that are being made at the council table on the long-term plan. And the hearings take place in a very formal process. Everyone has an opportunity to speak for 5-10 minutes, which includes any questions that councillors may have, and then council goes away and deliberates over what they have heard, and those deliberations feed through to
So it's actually very good once the LTP.
Yeah.
So if we have anything that we want to raise, that's the process.
That's the formal process. So yeah, so that is the key formal process of the long-term plan. It is all submissions are publicly available. We pull them together and give them through to the councillors to read, and then hence the opportunity to speak to them as well. And that's an opportunity for the Māori Partnership Committee to put forward some thoughts, some views, and maybe also some understanding for the council table around some of the questions that they're asking in the consultation document and what it means to your communities. Yeah. Of interest, yeah. Yeah, so that's the first one, which is the formal process. So we must do that under legislation. The second one is a more informal process. So currently we are going through a review process. So as part of the long-term plan, we need to review a few things. One of those is we always have an LTP in play. So we did a long-term plan in 2025. And we are asking the Māori Partnership Committee, along with our community boards, to look at what we had planned for years 4 through till 9 of the current long-term plan to give us an understanding if they are still a focus. Yeah, so that would take place over the next month. It's an informal review. That information is already in the current 2025 long-term plan. And that's just helping us understand if
So as an example, we have just submitted a proposal to council about Te Rata Road, and there might be some outcomes we would like to see from that submission we'd like to put forward to the LTP. Is that an example? So we might be, because that's the first thing that jumps into my mind.
Yeah.
Like Te Rata Road, we're talking about an alternative route, for example. So I guess what we might like to say or see in there is a alternative route to Te Rata Road, put it to the LTP. Is that what?
That's the sort of thing. Yeah, and it would be around what funding you might want.
Yeah.
If it's not in the current existing LTP, what funding you would imagine.
Okay. We've got it now.
Yeah. So when you go through and have a look at what's currently in the LTP, you'll see funding against it for each year, and that would be have a look at that and feedback like that through to the end of September through to officers, and also your council members sitting at the Māori Partnership Committee table as well are an opportunity for you to pass on feedback through to them as well. Yeah.
I have a question around the last time we submitted, we asked for funding to be allocated towards the cemetery art at Whakatonga. That got approved by the councillors, but it didn't happen due to lack of funds. So is that the sort of thing that we can raise this time round?
Yes. So I would check to see. We'll have a look to see if it's in the long-term plan, the current LTP, and that will be feedback that would be really good to get by the end of September.
Okay.
Yeah, and we can do that just informally. So just submit that through to myself or through to your councillors as well, and we can check that as part of the review process.
Is there a possibility to get a written or a printed version of the long-term plan? Is there any of those?
Yep,
hanging around the office?
Yeah, there will be. Yep.
You know, in that report here, Nikki's report, that link is the.
Yeah, I know, but I'm offline.
I don't want you to have a look at that.
Yep, we can get you a printed version. Yep. Yeah, so those are the two processes. So any feedback through now would be great through to the end of September, especially around anything that is in the current plan. That would be good to just review. And then the formal consultation where we recommend a formal submission from the Māori Partnership Committee, should you wish to do that. And that would be in 2027. Yeah, I am happy to answer any questions that you have around the long-term plan. So feel free just to email directly, and I'll also keep you updated on the timelines and the dates for 2027 once they get locked in.
Okay, thank you.
Discussion and questions.
It's a pretty regimented process.
Correct, very regimented, yeah.
Okay, couple. Right, move on to receive the long-term plan, 2027-37.
Oh, yep.
Karen, and the second half. Andrew. Those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion carried. Right. Income and expenditure.
I can speak to this report if you like, on behalf of Steve. The income and expenditure report. Steve has given us a really good breakdown of what operational expenditure is and committee funding, and has also given us our 4 PO and our kaupapa Māori values that underpin the PO as our structure for assessing grant applications. And also just to note that the forum dated, I think it's the 25th of October. We're scheduling in Lena to do a workshop with the Māori Standing Committee, a Māori Partnership Committee, to look at a matrix system for us to assess applications for funding. So just clear and transparent process. And then on our financials, little correction there. The first one, which is the grants annual budget 26-27. This is page 16. Little correction there. Hayley's got less expenditure 25-26. That's supposed to be 26-27, and there is no spend because it's a new allocation. And Gilly's, the other day we talked about the $800 coming back that wasn't picked up. I've been told by finance that won't be rolling over, so that is our figure for the 26-27 financial year. 20,440 grants. The next page, page 17, 15,330 is our budget for the strategic framework at the moment. And then the last page is the breakdown of the annual budget as general expenses to run the committee, as well as some training budget there as well. Just wanted to add
this is pretty much the same as last year, right?
it's that's probably where we landed at the end of June. And so no, we'll get to it. We get to the chair's report, and that's it. That's the financials.
I have a question.
Yes.
So in the past, we used to have money allocated for the marae development. Was that still?
We had a one-off.
Was that just a one?
That was a one-off. Yeah. When we initially got that funding, it was 9,000 for each marae as a one-off payment, and then we were given grant funding of 20,000 per year going forward. Yeah.
What was that 9,000 related to? Was that?
At the time, in our submission, we said our marae were in disrepute and they needed repairs and they needed some help. And the council at the time agreed to allocate $9,000 to each 3 marae, as well as a working budget after, or a grants budget afterwards. Yeah. Yep. That could be something for the LTP.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions?
Just in regard to the Māori Strategic Framework budget, is Hononga costs coming off that 15,330? No, so that's a new allocation.
No, it's not a new allocation. It's the same funding, but the funding that for Scott's workshop that he did with SLT has come from council. So this money is for MPC.
And we'll be doing a workshop with Scott?
Yep, I've got in the chair's report. I must say it now. So Janice has agreed to have Scott come through to do the workshop with the Māori Partnership Committee to explore.
So you're so you're for.
Yeah, so Scott is going to come through and do that. So in September, he's available. I thought he might be available 15th, 16th or 17th, but he's not available till the 21st, so the next week. And he'll run a facilitated workshop with the Māori Partnership Committee to look at the aspirations of Māori in the district. Cool. Yeah, and it's not just Māori Partnership Committee, trust it. Yeah, it's whoever you feel needs to be in that room. That's up to you guys.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool. Everybody.
We need this room or a bigger room? This room?
I don't know, it just depends on.
So that means our forum's changing from this 15th.
I'll move the forum to the 21st.
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. How do we open that up to you?
To you guys.
We'll get to that.
22nd.
21st.
Any other questions regarding the budget? Right, and move it to accept the budget from tonight. A second. And all those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Against. Carried. Right. Chairperson's report. Update on the strategic framework. all pretty familiar with at this stage, but I just wanted to, I guess, crystallise what it is that we're trying to achieve with this thing, because it appeared to me that when we had this discussion a few weeks back, there seemed to be a little bit of confusion about what the product might look like that they're trying to achieve. And I'm pretty certain what we were looking for is a Māori strategic framework that anchored all of our policies to it. And I wrote a few notes down here, and in my mind it was it drives treaty-centred policies, and it's a clear engagement expectation. It's how we work together as one group of people. Because I think there was some confusion around where the strategic coherence lies, and that's through all departments, and it's both in ourselves and the council. It was my understanding.
I think that's pretty close, yeah, to I think what we can achieve and deliver.
And there are already some examples in other councils, I think, that have got this sort of thing. Yeah. It might not be exactly the same sort of thing that we're after, but it provides us with those guidelines that we need, and how we work together to achieve stuff, basically. Because I wrote down a couple of examples: Greater Wellington Regional Council, Far North District Council, Auckland Council, all have these in place. Yeah. And that's the kind of thing that we're hoping to produce at the end of all of these conversations.
Yeah, I've seen all of those too, and they're awesome, but the scale of the organisation is massive.
Doesn't have to be to that scale, but the net effect is the same.
Similar size council is probably Horowhenua District Council.
Yeah,
And,
which involves a number of discussions with different groups of people to arrive at a result. Which is why
yeah, Scott will help framing.
Well, that's why I thought he was going to be a key component to bringing all of this together, given that he's starting right at the start.
Yeah.
And then brings everybody in as we go through, and then him having that continuity of knowledge, to help us produce the document we need at the end. That's how I saw it.
So far we've got approval for him to come to do the workshop, the first workshop.
Yeah.
And then, so I've always got to make sure that I've got the approval, the scope, and
but
the resource.
that's kind of the project plan. Yeah. Is that this guy here drives that stuff. He does have to do all the work, but the information gathering is what he does. That's what he does, I suppose.
And then what we want him to do is create a document that can be amended into council, so that it doesn't sit isolated.
Correct.
Would we be able to achieve that with the money that we've got available?
I think the workshop will get through that, and I'll see what's left over and ask him what can we get for the rest of the money in terms of a plan, like we've spoken about.
But here's the plan. Yeah, you've got a bit of pooch here from the start of it. I don't know how much more we're going to need, but at least we can work towards it.
And I'm sure he'll be able to give us a costing and beyond that, so that I know what I'm looking for. So that first part you said about policies and Te Reo Waitangi, say that again, Gillies. There was that your first.
Well, it's conceptually it's something that ties all of those together. So we have an anchor to write all our policies from.
Yeah, because I was just thinking about Te Reo Waitangi and how it is reflected in our policies. Yeah. That's internal. I feel like that's the internal part that we'll do a lot of that. You will inform, the Māori Partnership Committee could inform some of that, but it's the work that we've got to do on the inside, which has really been the key thing that came from that.
And I think that we've all got to understand too that that's a shared document. It's not, it doesn't belong to the Māori Partnership Committee.
Both of us.
It doesn't belong to council. It's a shared document that we come together to compile.
All right. Okay, so the first part off the rank is bringing Scott in for the 21st of September. Yeah. In the meantime, like I said in the report, we'll congruently have 2 lines of work happening.
Kapai. Yeah, so
Yes.
it's the status. We're already at the stage.
Mm.
Management.
Oh, up there to Rati Road. So the latest update we recall from our meeting, tend to anticipate our proposal and get all of the corrections done and dusted. And so we did that to a certain degree. But we managed to get a document and we threw a cover letter on top of that. And that's now been processed through to council for their consideration. That's where we are with it. Yeah. So we'll just hear back from council.
Yeah, I think it's sitting with Janice and Fran at the moment. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be back in touch.
So that's we're waiting that one. The next
Yeah.
one was the
We'll keep an eye out for
Yeah.
that paper. If it's with Janice and Fran, it should come to the council table. Yeah.
Okay, so the next item was the letter from the Muttonborough Community Board, which I asked to share with you. And there are probably 4 things we need to consider in this letter. The first one was that they were wanting to attend one of our practical restoration and planting exercises. And I think we might have something for them. So,
Are we talking about Papawai?
Great. Yeah, that one.
The one in
I
Great.
can send them that. That can. Do you want me to?
I think they're more just in the one
Oh yeah.
Okay.
piece.
So I think funding opportunity has opened, so I could do the funding application for some plants and then invite them to come and plant them. Sound like a good scheme? Because there's a few failures that in a previous planting that we did with GW. So we could replace those plants that have been lost.
Okay, so that's an opportunity there for them if they would like to take it up.
Yeah, because otherwise I don't know where the plants will come from.
Who would supervise that?
Me.
Really? Oh,
Well, you can help. We can all go.
okay. Okay, so it's a
Like a community planting day. It'll have to be on a weekend.
so so the response will be we'll be planning a community planting day.
Yeah.
We'll let you know when
They want to do it when the weather's warmed up, but you know, planting happens in the winter.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pouring rain and cold. Otherwise, the plants won't make it.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll say that as well.
Yeah, it will time it for next or autumn, maybe May would be the earliest.
Okay.
Not sure how that works with their funding round.
Okay, cool. I'll give it. I'll speak to this later once I get some answers from the group. The second piece here was talking about Considine Park, and if you recall, they only want to be representative from this group, which we said, well, no, we're happy to provide you with a nomination. I won't be anyone from this group. And I did recall Betu nominating Leanne.
Oh,
Sure, that's what I heard, but my question, if it was going to be defeated, was would Leanne and of course you guys happy with nominating Leanne as their representative? So I could post
JD was nominated.
Oh.
I thought JD put his hand up for it.
Or was it?
Well, okay, I'll get in touch. It's either Leanne or JD, right?
Can I just speak to that? So I'm not sure what they're looking to do, but they're clearly wanting to put something forward as part of the long-term plan process that Nikki's outlined. And so that's why they've asked for September, because that's when they're putting something through to the officers. But any reserve management plan for Considine Park has to go through a process which is statutorily required under the Reserves Act. So I'm not quite sure where they're going with their direction on it, but just so you've got that in your mind as part of the process. Yeah.
Well, I'll let them worry about that process. The third point here, yeah, I'm not sure about this one here. So they're talking about, just read it, another issue that we're working on at the moment is the development of a connecting walking, cycling and horse riding trail from East-West Access Bridge into Martinborough, and from Martinborough to Greytown and Featherstone. What will be the issues that we feel we should take into account? What kind of relationship would be beneficial? And is our committee formally able to support the project? Well, they're the big questions, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a big question.
It's loaded, eh?
It's a big ask. It's quite a big,
Shall I just invite them all to one of our meetings?
yeah.
So to explain them on there.
I wouldn't like us to speak out of turn for somebody who knows me, you know.
What's that?
Well, that's a big area and there's a lot to consider.
But I'm on the, we've got a similar project happening in Featherstone where we're trying to create a multi-purpose trail from the town out to the Moana. And so far we've managed to get a feasibility study, then we had to get it updated. And a few people have bought some fence posts and they want their names put on them.
That's grassroots stuff, eh? That's how you do it.
Huge. And our feasibility, the price is quite high just to get from Featherstone to the Moana. So we're just doing it in little bite-sized chunks. So I think they need a bit of a reality check.
Well, maybe they should be looking for funding for a feasibility study.
Yeah.
But then that's not state highways, but it is that roading from the diversion, is that where they were doing?
They've got a variety of trails that they're looking at.
Look, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll ask them to come here and explain this a bit more to you.
Yeah.
Ask.
Like a map would be really useful.
Well, yeah, and then so that we can try and identify what it is that he's asking us.
Yes.
Because I'm not sure. So I'll do that.
Also, who else is supporting this? You know, there's a lot of logistics and approvals needed. So it'd be good to know, you know, all that kind of detail. And then for us to think of questions like, have they got the route all mapped out, and does it go across private land? Is any of that land, wahi tapu for us, or, all those considerations? And then, what are the opportunities? So have they done a pestle analysis of the project? So, yeah.
Yeah, have they been in touch with the five towns trails trust?
Yeah, we can ask them those questions when they come.
What's our level of public or consultation with our for the people we are speaking for? So I haven't talked to anybody about that.
And they're proposing to put something through to the LTP, is that correct? And that's going to be included, is it?
I think, yes.
I'm understanding maybe that they have done some consultation with one of their heads of it might come from the survey that they did, but I can't speak to the community board. I think that's a great idea to get James in. And it could well be something, but I haven't had anything through yet from the community board.
We applied for funding when the council had that development funding available, and I'm talking about the Trail Trust in Featherstone, and it wasn't supported by the council.
Okay.
So it wasn't considered far enough along the track to be a development opportunity to bring visitors. It's still early stages. So I'm not quite sure whether they realise that they probably find getting funding really tough at the moment.
I'll ask them to come along anyway. And the last one here was about the solar farm, and I think this should be more directed at the Hauriki. The Hauriki Risers would like to discuss how this proposal might relate to current provision, which is something I was wanting to hand over to JD. This is a Hauriki.
Is it around there?
Yeah, there was a real possibility.
It was just highlighting that Hauriki has invested in solar for emergency resilience. So as an example, so it's actually looking at, they're investigating, you know, the possibility of a community energy network project and whether we would want to be involved in that. So he can come and talk to that to us when he comes and talks about it. Yeah, two topics.
Two topics to come and speak to us about. We'll get in touch with them. I'll respond to you. But it's never in outline some of the things that we'll just discuss now. Okay, point. Last thing here was around operational expenses for marae and stuff. So whilst I was sitting in the car, well, I wrote down what I was going to say. So I've called this impact of cost of living pressures on marae. Marae across South Wairarapa are experiencing the same cost of living pressures affecting whānau and communities throughout Aotearoa. Rising costs associated with electricity, insurance, maintenance, compliance requirements, food, cleaning and general operating expenses have significantly increased the family's burden, the financial burden on marae. At the same time, marae continue to respond to growing community expectations and needs. They regularly host tangihanga, wānanga, education programs, cultural events, community hui and emergency response activities, often at little to no cost to the participants. These activities are increasingly being subsidised through fundraising efforts, grants, koha and volunteer contributions. Many marae trustees have expressed concern that ongoing increases in operating costs are reducing their ability to invest in the long-term upkeep of marae facilities and infrastructure. Rates add further pressure to already constrained budgets. A rates remission policy will provide practical support to marae by reducing unavoidable overhead costs and enabling available resources to be directed toward the preservation of cultural assets, community services and emergency response activities. Basically, what I'm proposing we ask council to do is look at developing a policy that has 100% remission rates for the three marae, Papuai, Kohanui and Hauriki. And this might be part of the LTP as well.
Correct. Yes, it is. It is. So as part of your putting something forward to Nikki during September, put that forward as well, something that you're seeking.
Yeah.
During the consultation period in March, along with the consultation document, we will have an opportunity to also review a number of policies, predominantly around rates, because it is the setting of rates. And so my recommendation would be that you have a look at those and you can feed some information through now to councillors or to officers, and then just also include those, the rates remission policy in the submission, if that was important to the Māori Partnership Committee.
So there's three topics: Te Rata Road, maintenance at Urupa, and this one, rates remission.
Yeah, although if I could get this through earlier, do I have to wait for the?
It has to be considered as part of the long-term plan.
Does it?
Because it has implications
Yeah,
across.
because you want it to be built into the plan.
Yeah.
Those,
Okay.
It's more about rating across the district So if there is a rating relief given, there is an impact about the rest of the rates. So it has to be all considered together.
Oh, okay.
We can only set rates once a year. So once that is set for the 1st of July, it's set for the full year. So the next opportunity to change anything related to the rates is the LTP consultation
Right.
in March.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. All right. That's the chairman's report. Any questions? All right, so there's no other questions.
Oh, he pātai taku. Could we move a resolution to submit a long-term plan, a submission to the long-term plan from the Māori Partnership Committee this early?
Andrea, my recommendation would be to do it the first meeting in 2027. Once we
Yeah.
have an idea of what's in the consultation document. But in the meantime, I am happy if you wanted to agree as a group and have it documented that you will supply myself or officers with some feedback to be considered as part of the review process
By the end of September.
by the end of September.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we're doing that prelim stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And do
So
we,
there's 3 items.
So far, yeah.
Okay, so it's the way to say it, those 3 items you can put forward a proposal earlier than.
Yeah, just informal feedback.
Feedback.
Feedback to officers by the end of September on some LGP topics.
Right.
maybe if we can have that noted that we've got 3 that we would like to put forward that through that process.
Yes.
Already.
In the minutes.
Do I have a mover to receive the chairperson's report? Karen, second.
Oh, Andrew's with me.
Andrea. All those in favour say aye.
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 Against? Motion carries. We'll come to the end. We don't have any general business because we're not allowed to have general business. So we'll move to our closing karakia. Tēnei ngā mihi kia koutou mo tēnei kōrero I tēnei pō. Ora tātou, e tātou ki te karakia. Tore, ko mutu a mātou mai, tēnei wā, nā ki te anoi mātou katoa, mātou wā, mātou whānau, ai o ki kia ārangi. Kia ora tātou.
So just offline, so that I didn't really post it for us. Well, open reader still on.